Hi guys, welcome back. Well, today we're going to be talking drugstore foundations. And those of you that have been with me a little while know last year I started a series called Best of the Drugstore. And I got a lot of really good feedback, but mixed feedback. Some of you wanted to see Best of the Drugstore by brand, so I did make one video on that. I started with CoverGirl, but I felt like it was kind of hit and miss with the feedback on that one, so I had kind of quit doing it. And it takes a lot of work to kind of put together ideas for what I want to include in those videos, and of course we all know the drugstore's coming out with new products all the time. So I thought I would try something a little different and break it down into maybe a few categories. I was going to start with foundations, and these are my top 5 drugstore foundations that I think are really great for most anyone. I'll let you know why I like them, and as far as coverage and those types of things. I've probably mentioned every single one of these at some point or another, maybe even done a review or demo. If I have any of those videos to go along with this, then of course I will link them below. So let's get started. This one just made it into my March favorites. This has been a favorite off and on for several years. I first heard about this here on YouTube several years ago because it was named as a good duplicate for the Nars Sheer Glow. Now, I've never tried that. You know, in the magazines when they recreate the celebrity looks, it'll have, like the actual makeup and then, what is supposed to be the duplicate that's cheaper on the other side. So this is the Neutrogena Healthy Skin. Comes in a bottle like this. I am in the color 40 Nude. Really love this foundation. It just gives really great coverage, natural coverage. I would say more of a medium. You can build it up slightly, but not a ton. Just a really great foundation. I tend to wear this more in like the spring and summer because of the coverage and because of the color. Now, I've also mentioned I put mine in this airless pump. I've used these for years, pretty much ever since I bought this. That's what I bought the pumps for. So this is a new one, of course. What I do is just take the sticker off the back of the foundation and put it on here so I know what it is and what color it is. These are really great. This has kind of that annoying, it's a glass bottle for one, so I don't like traveling with it, and a really large opening. So anyway, this is a fantastic foundation. Highly recommend it. Just gives a really nice coverage. I was wearing it in my March favorites. The next would be one I don't have to show you because I ended up tossing it. It was pretty much at the end of the bottle. I will try to insert a picture here somewhere. But that is the CoverGirl 3-in-1 Stay Fabulous Outlast. It has like a lot of names. I bought that one when it first came out about a year ago, a little over a year ago. Really loved it. It has excellent coverage. So if you're looking for something with more, full coverage, it'll be full coverage for most of us. That is an excellent foundation. It doesn't feel cakey. It covers really well, comes in a decent amount of shades, has a nice pump. I know that spread like wildfire all throughout YouTube. It seemed like the majority of people really liked that foundation. It was just an excellent new product from CoverGirl. Really like it. I threw it out because, one, the color now is a little light for me this time of year, and like I said, I was at the end of the bottle, so I do need to pick up another one, but haven't done so yet. Probably won't wear that one again until we get more into fall and winter, because that's when I like a little bit heavier coverage. The next one is a longtime favorite, and I always end up going back to this at some point or another, and that is the CoverGirl Olay. This is the Simply Ageless. Really love this foundation. Again, more of a full coverage foundation. It is a cream, you can see. Really nice packaging with this too. It's lightweight, travel friendly. This is like a hard plastic. I just love this one for when I need a little bit more moisture to my skin. Maybe I'm having a lot of breakouts or flakiness. Things I need to cover, but then I also need a little bit more moisture. Now, I would say even if you're oily skin, you could wear this. Just make sure you set it with powder. I don't have any trouble with this, whether I need to set it with powder or not. I've worn it both ways depending on what my skin's doing. Really love this though. Just highly recommend this one for really great coverage. I have to say with this one, it does come with a sponge, but I don't recommend using the cream foundations with a sponge. I find you can get them too thick and too cakey looking. I usually use a brush, or if you want an even lighter coverage, you could use like a damp beauty blender. That would be great as well. Next would be the Revlon Colorstay Whipped, and this comes in a really nice, pretty glass package. Not very very travel friendly because it is glass. It's extremely heavy. I have it in the color 240 Natural Beige. This is usually more of kind of spring to summer shade for me. That's why I haven't worn it in a while. And the coverage is great on this. It's just as good as the original Revlon Colorstay. However, those formulas, whether it's in the oily or the dry, have never worked for me. I find them really hard to blend. You got to work really quickly. They always just seem a little too cakey for my skin. This is nice because you get a little bit more moisture, it being a whipped consistency. I find you don't have to blend it quite as quick, still quickly, but not as much as the original. So it just looks like this. It is like a whipped kind of creamy consistency. I find usually I just like to apply this with a brush. Again, if you want a little bit lighter coverage, always use like a damp sponge. This gives excellent coverage if you have, you know, normal, dry, combination skin. I find that it works well with any of those. If you're oily, you definitely want to set it with powder. You know, you may or may not like this one. You may want to stick with the original version, but absolutely love this. Last would be E.L.F. This is the Flawless Finish Foundation. I did a review and demo on this. It absolutely is a great foundation. It's only $6. The only thing is there's not much color range, unfortunately, so some of you may have trouble. This is actually I think the lightest shade, which is porcelain, and I wouldn't call it like a porcelain color by any means, but it comes in a really nice frosted glass container, not too heavy. You could travel with it okay, but it is glass. Comes with a really nice pump. Again, for $6, a foundation that comes with a pump is great. It is a little bit thicker formula foundation, so I find it doesn't always come out of the pump. Even though pumps are great, I sometimes don't find that that's, you know, the foundation works with a pump depending on its consistency. So something to always keep in mind. This has excellent coverage. I would say pretty full coverage, medium to full. It just depends on what you're covering up. So always keep that in mind when somebody says full coverage. What may be full coverage for some people may not be for you. If I call something full coverage, I consider it pretty full because I usually have, you know, quite a few things that I need to like touch up with concealer, you know. So anyway, I would consider this full coverage. It has a really nice finish, just looks great on the skin. And again, you can't beat the price, so don't discount this one being such a low price. It's an excellent foundation. I do have an honorable mention here, just an extra I wanted to throw in. This is something I kind of go back and forth with. It really depends on, for me, what my own skin is doing, whether I like this or not. But it is a great foundation. I know many of you out there like it, and that is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. It's sometimes not enough coverage for me. That's why I don't use it all the time. But they have, in the True Match, they have a great colors, you know, shade range. You can get cool, neutral, warm, which I love. My shade happens to be neutral in, you know, yeah, N12, which is soft ivory. Again, it comes with a pump. It's a glass container. Just a really nice foundation, but it's definitely more of a light to medium coverage, but just gives a really beautiful finish to the skin. So I definitely wanted to mention this because a lot of you, this would be a great foundation for you. It just sometimes it works for me and sometimes it doesn't. Like I said, depending on, you know, what my own skin is doing, but a really great one. So those are my top 5 picks from the drugstore with a bonus. Let me know some of the foundations you guys love from the drugstore. Maybe I've not tried them, maybe I have, it just didn't work for me, but those are the ones I can strongly recommend. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.